Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. I want to give a shout out today to my friend John Sterling, who's the founder of the Noob School. It's a sales training school for very new salespeople, and he prompted me to think about something. He did a recording last week about what is a natural salesperson. What is a natural salesperson? And, I talk about that some, and I've not really processed it a lot. I've kind of shortened it, saying that, many people who are, quote, natural born salespeople, what it means is that they maybe talk too much and might be pushy. But he really got me thinking about what is a natural born anything. We think about, child prodigies, maybe like Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods. But those guys, while they had natural ability, they also took that and worked their asses off to add better form, better technique, more toughness, more mental toughness, right? That's not the stuff that comes naturally. And so there's also a lot of child prodigies. Think about maybe somebody that you knew, maybe it's a friend of your kids, or maybe it's one of yours, maybe it's you, right? That had this wonderful, unbelievable natural athletic ability in high school, right? And you could catch any football, or you could pass any football, you could make baskets, whatever, hit home runs. But are you now a professional basketball player or football player or baseball player? Most of us, probably not, right? We don't have the skills to go that far. Natural ability will take you to a certain level. It's funny, there was I read a book earlier this year, I can't remember the name of it, but it talked about how so many child prodigies, if they even end up staying in the same field in which they have natural talent, they're often no longer, once they get older, they're no longer better than everybody else, because those that worked hard at it maybe didn't have quite as much natural talent when they were young, they overtook them, right? Because sometimes people have this natural talent and they see that and they say, oh, I'm a natural. And maybe they quit working on it, or they get bored with it, or it's just not something that they're particularly passionate about. Maybe their parents are more passionate about it than they are, right? I've got this child prodigy, we got to feed them. And eventually the child goes, not enough. So a natural salesperson. So the question that John asked, which is brilliant, I think, is what part of sales are they natural at? Because sales is multifaceted, especially good professional selling. There's not like one piece. There's several things. And often a natural salesperson is somebody who can walk into a room. They got rizz, as the kids say today, right? They got charisma, or they can make people feel comfortable very quickly. And that's great, right? Or they have the gift of gab, which means they could stand up and whatever, public speaking, blah, 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 blah. But some of that stuff is maybe an important part of sales, but it's a small part, right? That's maybe the part that gets you there. But what about prospecting? Are they naturally willing and able to pick up the phone time and time and time again to talk to people that maybe aren't interested in talking to them? Are they good at networking, not just at being the life of the party, but being somebody who can build trust with somebody else quickly? How comfortable are they hearing the word no? Because usually natural born salespeople, right? They're geared with a very high need for approval. They want people to like them. And that's where they can really shine, is to try and get people to like them, right? But just because you like somebody, how often have you had this happen if you've been in sales very long? Oh, I've got lots of friends. I'm going to go sell to them. I got lots of people that like me. Well, how does that work out? Generally, not so well. So, natural born. Let's talk about that again. So let's talk about the different parts of sales that maybe must be developed, which is where the skills part comes in. Because if you think about a natural born pianist or a natural born basketball player or dog sledder or whatever, they're probably good at one part of it or good enough to get them to a certain level. But there are lots of other facets that they've really got to work on and improve and improve and refine and refine and refine. So let's pretend you've got the part down, that you can talk to anybody and you can make people feel comfortable and you have this high need for approval and you got that rizz and you can bring people in. They're attracted to you. But can you manage their expectations? Can you say to them, why don't we have a conversation and figure out if it makes sense to do anything, right? And let them know that no is completely okay. Are you naturally able to do that? Or are you have to have a yes? Is that the way you get yourself fed, right? Maybe it takes some training. I'll promise you, it takes some training to see that no should be your second favorite word, right? And let people know early on, I'm okay with no. I promise I won't take it personally. I won't hold it against you. That's probably where we'll end up. Hell, I may tell you no first as well. And not just use those as words, but to be able to believe every single bit of that. How good are you naturally at that? How about the next part where you're trying to figure out, most natural born salespeople, right? They are great at talking about their product and have the idea I can convince people because I got so much rizz. Well, here's the problem. Nobody wants to be convinced. They don't want some salesperson to glad hand and convince them of stuff, right? Maybe that's your natural inclination. But great sales happens when instead of trying to convince somebody, we're more skeptical. Great sales happens when we're not sure that the person actually needs what we have. And it's not just words. We believe that. Because right now, right, chances are more than half the people are telling you no. So to be honest, you should legit be skeptical that people are going to buy from you because most don't. Most shouldn't. And like I said last week, I think, if you're selling more than 50% of the people you're getting in front of, either you're not in front of enough people, right? Or you're not charging enough money. If it's higher than, say, 80%, shit, you aren't selling anything. People are just buying and you can be replaced. You can just have a website and sell that shit, right? So, how natural is it to be skeptical that somebody really needs your help? And to be able to have somebody have to explain it to you why it matters and why they need to make a change. And that you're patient enough and willing enough to peel back the layers of the onion of whatever their problem is, if they even admit a problem, right? And then how natural are they at talking about money, about figuring out what somebody's budget is, or being able to say in a large sale to realize this is not, it's probably not the customer's money they're spending anyway. It's some line on a budget. How comfortable are they? How natural are they at not getting emotionally involved in money? Then, how good are you at closing? How natural is it to be able to bring somebody to an obvious conclusion of a yes or a no? And to realize that if it's a no, that's okay too, right? And we go back to that. How comfortable are you bringing somebody to make a decision, yes or no? And then, how natural are you after somebody buys to be able to tell them where all the problems are going to come up, where let them know that their employees may hate this thing and what are they going to do about it? Or to ask them, what are you going to do when the person you've been buying this from for a long time comes back and says, wait a minute, you fired me? Please don't fire me. I'll lower our prices. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Please don't fire me. How comfortable, how natural are you at telling your prospect that's going to happen and seeing what they say? If you're a natural born salesperson, good for you. That's freaking awesome. Now, that gives you a real leg up. Imagine if you put some systems and processes in place. Imagine if you could actually have a process in place that you could refine over time and get better and get better and get better. Because how do you get better naturally? I don't know. Can you let me know that? I sure would appreciate it. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Share this with somebody that needs to hear it. If you're a natural salesperson and you're ready to take the next step and become one that can grow and refine and get better, let's have a conversation. 803-917-2817. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.